In the beginning, Brazil wasn't a single nation. 45,000 years ago, 5 million native people lived here, each tribe with its own culture, religion, and habits. After that, Portugal and Spain discovered Brazil and divided it in half. The lands to the east would belong to Portugal and the lands to the west to Spain. In the beginning, they just colonized the coastal Brazil, but slowly Portugal forgot that their part of the world had a limit and continued to enter the country. The rules changed, Tordesilhas was no more, and the new rule was finder keepers, losers weepers. That was when Portugal and Spain rushed to occupy the interior of the South American continent. And so, while exploring this rich land, the Portuguese came across pau-brasil. The first waves of migration to our territory came to explore it. Oh, and also, if you haven't noticed yet, it also provided the name to our country. These three species from the Atlantic forest was used to produce red dye, very valuable at that time. Pau-brasil made a lot of people rich, but it couldn't last forever. Well, that's okay, because sugarcane came along. Sugarcane was a precious good and exported everywhere, but that's when human beings were trafficked from Africa to become slaves. How many? Over 5 million people! Of course, slavery already existed in Brazil, but it became a huge business. By the end of the 17th century, minerals were found in Brazil also, and with it, another huge flow of migration from Portugal. They all wanted to be rich. Rio de Janeiro became the capital. In 1808, Napoleon invaded Portugal and the royal family fled to Rio de Janeiro. Portuguese political center was transferred to Brazil and the first factories, the first banks were built. Political movements are boiling. The king had to return to his homeland, leaving his son to take care of Brazil. And then, one day, Brazil finally became Brazil. On the 7th of September of 1822, Brazil was proclaimed independent. So, what now? 1850 came along, and so did the slow process of abolition of slavery in Brazil. In 1888, finally the Golden Law freed all slaves. Then, coffee beans became a major product on the following centuries. It made Brazilian agriculture grow by 900%. It triggered industrialization. It changed the landscapes. Brazil is still the biggest coffee exporter 150 years later. 1889 meant the end of monarchy. The coffee elite and military groups wanted more power and influence, so they overthrew the king and proclaimed the republic. One of the most important presidents in that time was Vargas, the father of poor. He ruled as elected president and later dictatorship and then president again. He created the first labor laws and upgraded industrialization. In 1954, he committed suicide and he wrote on his suicide note that I live life to enter history. 1964 came, a coup d'etat. President Goulart was removed and a dark period began. With the military in power, the country faced censorship, brutal repression, and complete absence of democracy. It lasted 21 years, and we never want to live that again. The proverbial light at the end of the tunnel was glimpsed. By the end of the 70s, the military government started to lose power. In 1983 and 1984, demonstrations took millions to the streets clamoring for direct elections. And in 1988, we signed a new constitution. We are a democracy again. After years of absurd inflation, Brazil finally stabilized its economy with Fernando Henrique Cardoso. Then, Lula rose to power with notorious leadership social programs. Dilma Rousseff, the first woman to rule Brazil, took over. She saw the economy deteriorate and was impeached in 2016. Last year, Jair Bolsonaro was elected. And now, here we are. Obrigada. Thank you.